Well, the movement seems intriguing, right? And that is what we are going to discuss in this particular lecture today. Welcome friends to this online lecture series on earthquake resistant design of structures. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss regarding the different causes related to the movements of the building under the effect of lateral load. Right. So now in the previous lecture, we have already discussed regarding the different reasons that are attributed to the movement of the building. That is in the last lecture, if you remember, we have discussed regarding the size of the building, the vertical layout of the building, horizontal layout of the building, and that's at the same time the adjacency of the building, right? And we have seen that different aspect ratios of the buildings are going to affect the behavior of the building to a great extent, right? So in this particular example that is seen, that is I have taken the example in order to better understand the movement of the building. A simple example that I have taken, that is of the rope swing, right? We have all enjoyed this ride in our childhood. Now as you can see in the figure over here, the child is sitting at the center of the swing and is enjoying, right? So two important aspects for the enjoyment are necessary. First is that the length of the rope is going to be same on both the sides, and second, the child is sitting at the center of the swing. These two aspects you have to keep in mind as it is going to be discussed throughout this lecture today, right? So when you talk about buildings, then buildings are also going to be same like that of the rope swings. Only the difference is that these buildings are going to act like a reverse swing. Why it is going to act like a reverse swing? Because in case of the swing, what is going to happen is that the mass is going to be concentrated at the lower level and it is going to remain same. But when you talk about building, then the mass is going to be concentrated at the topmost floor, and at the same time it is going to keep on increasing with the height, right? Now again, if you look at the two key components that were there in the case of rope swing, then two components were there. The first component is the rope and second is the cradle. Now the rope is going to be our vertical component and cradle is the horizontal component. So if you compare this geometry with that of the building, then in that case of building, we can say that the vertical columns and the walls are going to be the vertical components and the floor is going to be the horizontal component. Now what happens is that, as you have seen in the previous slide, whenever the child is going to initiate a jerk, then as a result of that, the swing is going to start moving in the back and forth direction. Same kind of behavior happens in case of buildings also, and that is why I have compared this particular building example with that of the rope swing example. So what happens is that whenever the earthquake will be there, that is the ground shaking is going to take place, then as a result of that, the horizontal force will be transferred to the building, and when this horizontal force will be transferred to the building, then the building will also initiate a back and forth movement. Why this back and forth movement happens in case of buildings? Because in case of buildings, the reversal of stresses is going to be there. That is, once we consider that the earthquake is going to earthquake is going to act in the direction that is from left to right, and second time we consider that the earthquake is going to act in the direction that is from right to left. So reversal of stresses is going to be there in case of building, and that is why the back and forth movement is to be considered. Same kind of movement happens in case of rope swing also, right? So as you can see in this particular example over here, what happens is that two examples are given. The first example is there where only a single cradle is there, and in the second example you can see that three cradles are there. And if you compare the geometry of this swing with that of the building, then you can say that you can compare the example of a single cradle with that of a ground story building, and you can compare the example of three cradles with that of a building which is having a mass which is having a geometry of g plus 2, right? So now in order to ensure the good performance of the swing, or if you want to have a fruitful ride, then it is necessary that the building or the swing, the rope swing should move uniformly. And in order to ensure that the uniform movement of the swing, it is necessary that the length and mass should remain constant throughout, or it should remain stable, right? So what happens here in case of buildings also, that in case of buildings, if you want the movement to be uniform under the application of lateral loads, then as a result of that, we can say that the thickness has to be uniformly distributed along the height and also in the plan, and at the same time the mass has also to be evenly distributed. So that thing is particularly highlighted by this example that is shown over here. So as you can see, the columns are evenly distributed and the mass is also evenly distributed. And what happens is that whenever the earthquake force is applied, as we have discussed, the earthquake is going to act in all the three directions, but the code is saying that the major component is going to be in the x direction and the z direction. So here the example is given when the load is applied in the z direction. That is, when the movement is applied in this particular direction, then the result of that we can say that the building is going to move towards the upper side, as you can see in the figure, right? So since all the columns are evenly distributed, having same size, and at the same time mass is also evenly distributed throughout the floor, so as a result of that, the entire building is moving simultaneously towards the upper direction. That is, all the corners are connected with each other, and at the same time the building is displaced by the same amount. That is, it is showing a behavior that you expect that in case of a rigid structure, where all the elements are going to undergo the same kind of deformation in the same direction by the same amount, right? So that is actually happening in this particular figure that is shown over there. And same thing is highlighted by means of an animation also over here, where you can see that when the horizontal force that is applied in the x direction, then all the components of the building, that all the floors are moving in the x direction by the same amount, right? So this kind of behavior is ideally expected in case of buildings when it is going to subjected to lateral load. But does this scenario remain same for all kind of buildings, or it changes? That is what we are going to see next. Right? Now what happens is that again we go back to our example of rope swing, right? And we all have, again we have this experience with ourselves that whenever we are going to ride on the swing, then our friend is also interested to take a ride, right? And what happens is that our ride is going to be fruitful even more if our friend is going to join us. But there is one problem. What is the problem? The friends want to sit on the same ride that we are sitting, or he wants to enjoy the same ride. So what we do is we move towards little bit on the side, and we make place for the friend also to sit with us. So what happens is that there is no harm. The friend is going to be happy, but the geometry of the swing is going to be unhappy. Why it is going to be unhappy? Because what has happened is that the center of mass has shifted, and it has shifted from where? From the center of the system, that is system of the rope swing. So as a result of that, there is a difference in the CG of mass and the CG of the system, and as a result of that, the problem starts, right? So in order to ensure good movement of the swing, and same if you compare with that of the building, then we can say that the center of mass has to remain same, right? So again this is highlighted by a figure as shown over here. So what is happening is that the rope swing example is as it is going to remain same throughout this particular lecture, right? You can see that the height of the swing, height of the rope is also same, the cradle is also same, child is also same, but there is only one difference, that is that the child has shifted towards the right hand side. So what is happening when the child has shifted towards the right hand side? So the mass is shifted, the concentration of mass is shifted from the center towards the other side, and due to this change in the mass, what is happening is that the swing is going to start rotating about the horizontal axis, that is torsion is going to be there. Same type of thing or same type of behavior can be experienced in case of buildings also, right? How it is going to be happening in case of buildings? That is, for example, let us take an example of a building where on one side of the building the storage of the goods is done, and on the other side of the building it is used for the residence. So what is going to happen is that the portion of the building where the storage is done is going to subjected to heavy mass, and where the residents are going to be staying, where there the less mass is going to be there. And as we know that in case of calculation of seismic weight, dead load is a total 100% component is considered of the dead load. As a result of that, wherever the dead load is going to be more, earthquake force is going to be more. Wherever the dead load is less, the earthquake force is going to be less, right? So what happens here is that the left hand side of the building as shown in the example, left hand side of the building is going to have heavy mass, right hand side of the building is going to have less mass. So as a result of that, what is going to happen is that the CG of mass is not going to match with the CG of the building or CG of the floor. And as a result of that, we can say that the twisting of the building is likely to take place about the horizontal. And same thing is highlighted by means of animation also, where you can see that for the first floor, the width and the length of the building, or the width and the length of the floor is same in both the directions. But however, from the fifth floor onwards, there is change in the dimension of the floor. That is, the width of the floor is reduced. So what is going to happen is that for the first four floors are going to have more mass. From the fifth floor onwards, the mass is going to reduce. And as a result of that, what is going to, again at the same time, there is change in stiffness also. Because if the plan length is going to be more, or the width of the plan is going to be more, then it is going to be necessary to provide more columns also. So in that case, the stiffness is going to be also more in the case of first floor force. Whereas from fifth floor onwards up till terrace, the mass is also reduced, stiffness is also reduced. So as a result of that, you can see that the upper portion of the building is also undergoing deformation, that is, it is likely to undergo under torsion, which is shown over here. Right, now we take another example. Right, so in the example that we have discussed previously, what we have seen is that in that case the shifting took place because of the change in the mass, or the position of the change in the mass. But now in case of this particular example, what is again happening over here is that the rope swing example, if we take, then the child is same, the cradle is same, but there is change in the length of the rope. That is, the length of the rope on the left hand side is less, or it is short as compared to that on the right hand side. So as a result of that, what is going to happen is that whenever the child is going to try and initiate the movement of the swing, then as a result of that, the entire system of the rope swing is going to twist in the vertical axis. So as a result of there, now what is going to happen is that the torsion will be initiated in the vertical axis of the building, or the vertical axis of the system. Same kind of thing happens in case of buildings also. And to take up the example of building, we have taken the example of buildings that are located on slopy grounds or mountainous terrain. In that case, as you can see, that height of the column on the left hand side is less as compared to the height of the column on the right hand side. So as a result of that, what is going to happen is that there is going to be change in the stiffness, and when there is change of the stiffness, then the CG of the stiffness will not match with the CG of the building. And when that happens, then as a result of that, there will be torsion that will be acting in the vertical axis, about the vertical axis of the building. And that is what is shown by means of a animated figure over here in this particular slide. Now this change in stiffness can be in vertical direction also, change in stiffness can be in horizontal direction also, right? So in case of horizontal direction, we take the example of location of shear walls. So the example that is shown here, in that case we can see that in the first example what is happening is that there are only two shear walls. In the second example, more than two shear walls are there. Then as a result of that, what is going to happen is that we can say that the figure on the right hand side is going to have more stiffness as compared to the figure on the left hand side, right? But there is no harm in having more stiffness, but the issue is about even distribution. If it is evenly distributed, then all the points will move evenly. But if it is unevenly distributed, then the movement of the plan is also going to be uneven in nature. So as a result of that, you can see in this particular figure, what is happening is that the figure is likely to undergo, the building is likely to undergo torsion. That is, the front end of the columns that are there, the front end of the building is undergoing to go large deformation, and as a result of that, the purple plan that is shown by means of dotted lines, you can see that how far this particular plan is going to move under the effect of lateral load, right? So same kind of thing is explained here in case of animation. Lastly, before ending today's session, we take up one more example, that is the example of open story building. So as you can see in this particular figure over here, the example of a G+1 building is taken, where the on the ground story you are having an entrance foyer and you are having a room at the back end side, and on the first floor you are having two rooms on the first floor. So now what is going to happen there, since the foyer is going to be there, so it is not surrounded by infill walls on the periphery, whereas the back end portion of the building where the room is located, so in that particular region the walls are going to be provided, and when you go to first floor, the walls are provided on the entire periphery of the building. So now what happens is that when you talk about lateral strength of the building, that will be attributed due to the effect of the in presence of the infill walls, right? So when you calculate the lateral strength of ground floor, then the lateral strength of ground floor is going to be less as compared to that of the lateral strength of the first floor, because if you take into consideration the effect of infill walls, then the ground floor is going to lack in that particular matter. So as a result of that, two terms are coined in the IS code, and that is the weak story or the soft story, right? So any of these effects is likely to take place due to the absence of the infill walls at the ground level, right? So if we take real life example or more realistic example that we say in day-to-day life, then we can take the example of apartment schemes where basement is there, parking is there, and then above that the residence is there. So whenever on the ground floor parking facility is provided, so in most of the buildings you will see that apart from the lift portion, there will be no walls on the ground floor. Entire periphery will be open so that the vehicles can easily move in and move out from the building, right? So there is functional point of view, it is okay that the movement is facilitated, but if you look at it from the strength point of view, then it is going to be problematic. Why? Because the lateral strength at the ground floor is going to be almost negligible as compared to that of the first floor, and as a result of that, when you take into consideration the clause of weak story, then you can say that this particular building will either fall under the category of soft story or weak story. And when these buildings will be subjected to lateral forces, then in that case the performance of this building is going to be detrimental in nature to the performance, right? And the other example that is shown here is that of a building plan where the columns are evenly distributed, mass is also evenly distributed, but the location of the lift core, that is the core of the building, is such that it is shifted towards the left hand side of the building. So now what happens is that, again, from functional point of view, planning point of view, everything seems to be very good and very perfect to us. But if you look at it from structural engineering point of view, then it is going to be problematic for us. Why it is going to be problematic? That what is going to happen is that the CG of the structural system, or CG of the structural system, is going to be more concentrated towards the left hand side as compared to towards the center. So as a result of that, again, there will be eccentricity that will be coming into effect. The eccentricity will be between the CG of the stiffness and the CG of the building system. So as a result of that, eccentricity will be there, and due to this eccentricity, the torsion effect is likely to be initiated in the building. Same thing you can see with the help of this animation also over, where you can see that the building is rotating about the vertical axis, and if this kind of behavior is happening when it is subjected to lateral forces, then as a result of that, the performance of the building is going to be hugely affected, and these buildings are going to likely to undergo lot of damage. This kind of behavior that you are going to see over here, this type of behavior can be seen when you apply dynamic force by means of modeling in case of heat absorbed state. And once the building is modeled and the loads are applied, then when you go through the performance or behavior, you want to study the behavior of the building, then you will be able to understand the time period of the building also, the modal frequency also, and at the same time whether the building is undergoing torsion or not in all the particular mode shapes that are to be taken into consideration. So that is all about the different causes for different types of movements in building, which is a very important aspect to be understood with respect to the overall geometry of the building in terms of structure also, as well in terms of architecture planning also. Hope you have enjoyed this series. Stay tuned for the further.